because I was in the United States for the House of Peace. That was the first thing I worked on. And I met a lot of people there, and it was only 2004 then. A lot of people there that were working for the New World already, and they had to put in so much effort to get the money to do so that they hardly had time to do their work. So one night I went to sleep and I shouted to the universe, I do not understand. I do not understand why there is so much money available for the horrible world that is functioning now and not for this beautiful work. And then I dreamed this system, and I was able to ask questions in the dream to clarify what was happening. And what they said is, if you ask people just $1 to donate, then everybody can join in.
Yeah.
Even the people who have very little money, and then you can show them what is done with their dollar, so that they get encouraged and empowered to see that I can do that with $1. What can I do more? So you empower the people that give the donations. And then they said, if you have do you know the Wheel of Co-Creation?
No.
Oh, that's a Wheel of Co-Creation is, I dreamed it. And the next morning I told my host what I dreamt. And then she took me to her computer and showed me. It's a wheel, and it's divided in 12 pieces. And each piece is another aspect of society, of the so it's economics, education, all those things in one wheel. And they said, if you can only get peace if you lift up the whole of society at once. So if you donate, then donate $1, donate the dollars you get the 1 week to one aspect, and the next week to the next aspect, and to the next aspect. So you have 12 weeks to go around to cover the whole of society. And then they said, they do not have to ask for big amounts of money, because they can ask it the next 12 weeks later again. So you can help a lot of people with not such with $1 million. You could help, well, thousands of people, you know.
Yeah. I think.
Yes.
Keep going.
And then they said, if you those people do only get the next time the money if they can show that they did with the money what they said they would do it. And if you have those films or whatever it is, they do their show how they did their project, and you can show that to the people that donate that $1, then they get inspired. And they know more about what is going to happen, and they are getting, because they're looking at a film or seeing what is happening together, then you form groups, and the groups themselves grow, and so it was on very many levels. Was it empowering?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was what it was. And then I came back in the Netherlands and then tried to establish it, but I had no idea how to do it. And then it fell all flat, and it's getting alive now again. So it probably was for this time.
You need to, okay, so 1 million people is reaching 1 million people is the challenge, isn't it?
The challenge is reaching 1 million people. And I told Sarah about it, and she said, because not having done anything like this before, start with a few persons and maybe donate to B1G1, because they have the whole system ready
Oh,
already. So
Mm.
you can slowly grow and learn in the process.
Mhm.
That's what she
Okay.
said. But
Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm
no,
thinking that you and I should do an interview about it.
okay.
Um, I think there are some questions that need answering. So when you say this new world, that's a bit woolly. Like, I want to know a bit more detail. What are you talking about? Who are these people that we're serving? Who are the organizations that this money is going to go to? Why is it going to go there? What's the purpose of it going there?
Yeah,
And I
and that's
totally get I
questions
totally
for
get
me to
that
be answered.
$1 or £1 or €1 or whatever is nothing. You know, it's
No,
my daughters could happily pay that. But I think in order to engage people, you have to have that messaging, that sort of clear,
yes,
the thing that just
that's
tugs at the heartstrings. So we can work a little bit with that, but at the moment I don't know that. So
no,
um, I also
no.
think one of my
But
speakers.
if you see the people who pitched last Wednesday, those are the people who are working towards the new world. And then what I found out working with it, that there are several words that come back. Words that come back is connecting, and then not only connecting on human level, but also with nature and the higher realms. It is co-creation, cooperation, respect. Every what they said, um, um, according to the House of Peace, they said, as imagine a jigsaw, a big jigsaw, and every person is a puzzle piece. Do you call it that? Is a piece, and only when they take up their own piece, they will be able to. You will be able to lay the jigsaw. But because a lot of people do what their parents want or what is paid more or whatever, they do not live their own quality. They live something else. So they have to decide or go for what their quality is, what their passion is, what makes them happy and what makes them go. And that's the first step. If you do that, then we are all wired to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And then this world Sarah's working on as well
Yeah.
will be established.
Yeah. Have you looked at B1G1's website since
I
last?
have looked at it and I'm not happy with it in the sense of that a lot of it is directed to the old world.
Okay.
So there are
Okay.
only a few little things that you could say that empower people.
Okay.
Most of it is directed to the old world, and I do not want to contribute to that.
Fine. Okay.
So the only thing I have thought of able to do, might do, is to contact the people themselves from the B1G1 and say, I love to have a donation system, but it's a different people I want to donate to, or not all of your people I want to donate to. And is it possible to have either a cooperation, or can we buy the basics of the system so that we can use it, things like that. I've been thinking of that. And what they said, giving me the system, I said how to do it, how to start it, and then they said ask the first round for the startup, so that you can hire the people who can help you to bring the whole system together.
Good idea. Amazing idea.
So it's not my idea. I just dreamed it.
No, I know. Um, I think there's some tidying up of the messaging that needs to happen, so that it's the thing that, so that as it
Yes.
crosses it crosses their Facebook feed or whatever, wherever we
Yeah.
put it, because it needs to be, you know, Sarah has, I don't know, 2,000 people on her. You need somebody with a massive mailing list, or
Yeah.
lots of people with quite
Yeah. Or
small.
lots of people with little mailing lists
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, or start or really
Or
start
just starts to
small.
move it.
Yes, start
It's a
small and
network.
organically it will grow.
It's a network marketing thing, but it needs to, that message needs to be so strong that somebody wants to pass it on.
Yes, but I thought, is it necessary to be, well, if you ask people to donate, then you have to have persons or organizations you donated to.
That it's
So
going to.
how do you detect which persons which organizations you want to donate to, or do they sign in themselves? Do you give a message out and they come in themselves?
You could
And
invite
do
them
you
to
have
apply.
to and do you have to specify what the new world is to you, or do you things like that? I'm not sure how that will work.
Mm. No, I'm not exactly sure. Um, I tell you what, I've got an amazing friend who's she's very whimsical, but she's got marketing at the moment in that very, where it's an invitation and it's very open and it's very yeah, it's kind of warm and cuddly, not scary. You know, I think old world was quite scary marketing,
Yeah.
where I think this is much more kind of warm and fuzzy, and what we
Yeah,
want to.
and cooperating all the time. So it's
Exactly.
the sharing what Sarah does, and
Yes.
that's part of the
And we
new
want to make
thing.
people feel like they're being drawn into something where they're safe and
Yeah,
held and
and
realize.
not held in a way of being a victim, but held in a way that they're being empowered
Yeah.
themselves.
I own a domain name which is empowered.org, and I bought it because people call me M, so I'm M, so empowered. Um, I couldn't
Okay.
get .co.uk, .com, they've all gone, but .org is still quite powerful. So
Yes.
I'm not tethered to it. Anyway, it's there. But I think okay, I'm a bit clearer, but I think we need to get this, because it's I should be on some. There's another summit running at the moment that I'm not listening to, because I just run out of time.
Mm.
Um, but what is it? These people could be. I'm just sorry. I'm just going to check in my email what it is, because I keep forgetting. Because these people have got big reach. Promotions. Union Summit, it's called. Union Summit. And they're working on you're among 25,000 plus like-minded souls who've come on board, and the number is growing by the hour. 25. Now they're the sorts of people you might want to get hold of.
Mhm.
um, they're on a Discord community, and there's a Telegram channel. Okay, I think there's something in there You're not having much luck getting onto these things, are you?
Sorry.
You haven't. You're not having much luck getting onto these things without your.
No, without my computer, and I will have it back next week. But this week I have to do with what I have.
Sorry, love. Say that again.
I will have my computer back next week.
Okay.
I got a message that they have sent it, but because of the busy things with COVID, it could take a week before I get it back.
Okay. I wonder if you can see. Can you see my sunset? Can you see my sunset?
Oh yes! Wow.
It's pretty. Okay. Yes, it's connections, Ank. That's the thing. It's that for
Yeah,
me.
but yeah, and I agree with you, but I want to have clarity which steps to go. You know, if you make the connections and you have not a clear plan, then it's just floating away. So you have
Yeah.
to run a path, and I want to know which is what is the first step and what is the first question to ask. That are things that I need to get clear. I think I haven't done anything like this before, and I like Sarah's idea. I'm only thinking that I'm going to approach them to do it differently, and maybe if we search deep enough, we can find stuff in there that we can start donating to. You know,
Mm.
I don't know. I have no idea at all.
I think you need to have. It's almost like those people, the places where it will go. So just very quickly, I mean, I barely looked at it, but I was just looking at B1G1 just for argument's sake. So it looks like they've got pictures of projects and stuff that
Yeah.
people can kind of go, oh yeah, I can get on
Yeah.
board with that.
Yes.
Um,
But you know,
so
what to me would be a new world approach is that if you give a child drinking water for a week, then it's not helping. If you give a child or a village, help them to get a pump so that they can get water, and you help them with a technician or to educate somebody in the village who can do
hmm,
that technical stuff, because there's thousands of those pumps laying empty there because they're not functioning anymore. And then a friend of mine did this, and then what she did was um, erect with the women of the village, erect a women's bank, and so that they could have money to they got money by selling the water. Every family had to pay a little amount to it, and then with that money they could help the village to get better, you
yeah,
know, so that it empowers the whole staff.
yeah, and
And
expand.
that's the new world approach.
Yeah.
That's the whole cycle you you do, and not the little stuff. And there's a lot of stuff about education and things like that, and I do not think that the education as it is helping to form the new world.
God no.
So that's my approach to it.
Hmm. Yeah, well, my gut reaction to it's so beautiful. Look, it's
Yes,
getting
yes.
even better.
Oh gosh, it's certainly beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's gorgeous. keep keep looking at it, because it will be gone in a minute.
I know. We can both look at it.
Yes, lovely. Thank you for sharing.
That's all right. it's messaging. The first thing I said to you was it's messaging. So whatever because there's so much noise in the world at the moment,
Yes.
what people need, they need that message just to just come through like a la, just this beautiful note that wasn't but not me
Yes.
singing, but just something that just hangs, it's sort of irresistible,
Mm,
a little
mm.
hook.
And like you said, it has to go mouse by mouse. It has to go from within outwards. It's not working if you put it out there and hopes it lands somewhere.
Mm, no, and it's got, I mean, New World is slightly more accessible. People are talking about fifth dimension, and I'm into fifth dimension, but I think a lot of people are quite turned off by that. But
Hmm. I
New
think
World,
we are far beyond my fifth dimension.
you think we're beyond it?
Yes, I think we are trying to help the world to get to the fifth dimension, but we ourselves are far beyond that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. God, I was just starting to feel comfortable in the fifth dimension, and now you've taken me off.
You can't do in the fifth dimension what you're doing now, lady.
No, okay. um, oh, Brave New World.
Yes, and you know there is something I am very cautious of, because what they said is that the ones who are in power of this world now don't want to give up the power, so they will try to erect a new world
Mhm.
parallel to the new world we want to create, and it looks at first as if it's the same, but
Well, I would argue, actually, I'm going to come back. I would say, I'm going to leave that off because it's too beautiful. I would say it's the other way around. I
mhm,
think that we, future people, are
yes,
creating our new world in the old world. And the old world, somebody told me last week that the timelines have split, that there are
yes,
actually two different worlds going on at the moment on the
yes,
planet.
that's true. Yes, that's true.
So you've got the people who are listening to the new world, and you've got the people who just want to hang on doggedly, which still is the
Yes,
majority.
I still mean something else. What
Okay.
they said to me, they the people in power now will try to do as if they erect a new world, but having all the people there thinking they're going the new way, then they just turn it around so that you're even more captured than you're captured now. So you have to be um, very open-hearted. You have to feel very good whether you're in the one new world or in the other one, and that's the two things you have to be very aware of.
Hmm. And you have to really trust.
Yeah, you have to really trust, but you have to trust your intuition.
Yes. Yes. And everybody who follows you is going to have to trust their intuition as well.
Yes,
And
yes.
there's nothing, and that's why I think I'm going to go for a walk, because I think now we're both in our heads and we're heady
Yes,
people.
yes. It's
And
okay. I told
the
you what I
answers,
wanted to tell you, and if something comes up with you, I love to hear it. Thank you so
yeah,
much for listening.
yeah, the answer's not in my head. The answer's in
No,
my heart. And
yeah,
I'm doing quite a lot of wacky lucid dreaming and stuff as well. So let's let the answers come in. We don't need to do it today, tomorrow.
no. No,
but it's now you've spoken to me. It's very in line with this thing I'm doing with these guys as well. It's
right.
really it's on exactly the same path. You know what I kept saying in my summit was, we're bringing it's getting the imagination cells. You know, like when a butterfly, when a caterpillar goes into its cocoon and it breaks down completely, and then these imagination cells start to pop up all around the organism. And what we're doing is what we need to do is get all those little tendrils to connect so that those imagination cells form bigger
Yes,
clumps and
yes,
clusters. And they will, and that's where the trust comes in. But there
yes.
are lots. I mean, I'm thinking of Louis Bertlink, who is also Dutch, who was one of my
I
speakers.
know. I followed him. I followed him, and I haven't been able to go to one of his meetings, but I follow him. Yes.
Well, he's in Findhorn at the moment.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and that's that's a great big community full of people. There are lots of imagination cells, and they're popping up. And I think my feeling is that America's kind of taken care of. You know, we need to start this. This is a European. This is part of a European movement, and that's been my thing over the last few months. Is just watching America. They're all sorted. They've got their movements. We need some movements over here, and we need to come together. We need to be in the same time zone, so we're not sitting there half asleep.
Oh, that's it. Yes. Yeah.
Um, but leave it with me. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go and walk, and I'll sleep on it for a few nights, and I'll
Yeah.
come back.
And please, if something comes up, great. And if it doesn't, it is what it is. But thank you
Well,
so
apart
much
from
for.
anything else, I think it would be valuable for us to have a conversation that I know we're recording this, but this is for us, but we could have another, both get ourselves a bit clear, because I'm starting a podcast. And it's called Healing Money Talks, the podcast, and it's going to be more of it's an extension of the summit. And you know, I don't have a great big following at the moment, but you just need a few people to like
Yes.
stuff, and then it starts to move and it
Yeah.
catches, and people are ripe for catching at the moment. And I'm moving around a lot of people who are catching these ideas. So
Right.
we've just got to keep catching each other because none of us can do it on our own. And that's,
No, no, no,
you
no.
know,
And
it occurred to me with Sarah the other day. Sarah has always had a business partner all the time I've known her. It
is
was
it?
Jeff when I met her, and then there was the Russian lady, and now there's Tim. She doesn't work on her own. She's
No.
got a big team behind, you know, you think, oh, it's Sarah McCrum, but it's Sarah McCrum and company.
Yes,
and
yes.
and
And
that was
until
really,
until now, that is then somebody came and said, I want to work with you, and then they left again. So I haven't found anything who is able to, or is drawn enough to follow it.
oh, well, I'm not doing anything at the moment.
Oh,
If
wow.
part of that £1 million would pay a salary for me, then I'm all over it.
Yeah, you know, and I have no idea how to do it. And if you'd like to think together, or if something comes into your mind, I can send you. I have your email now. When I have my computer back, I have a very, after the dream, I wrote it down, and they called it Worldwide Donation System for Universal Peace. That was the name.
Wow. Worldwide, worldwide
Worldwide Donation System for Universal Peace.
donation, WWDSWP. WWDSWP. Is that right? WWDSWP. Yes.
Yes. No, Universal Peace.
Universe. You.
Peace. Yes.
Okay.
That's what they called it.
I quite like acronyms, but that doesn't completely. There's no obvious.
No. And you know, even with the House of Peace itself, as well as because the House of Peace was meant for those in the world who knew how to bring the new world to life in their aspect of work, and to come together there and to bring the new world together. That was what the House of Peace was meant for. And when I discovered things about it and thought, oh, now it's not, I won't, because peace to me is a double. I know what I mean with peace, but it can be understood quite differently. So I changed it in my computer. And the next time I opened my computer, there was peace again.
Ah.
So I did that several times, but it stayed. And that's the same with the donation system. That's the name they gave it. And it's all is in it.
Can you say the words again? Universal?
It's worldwide donation system.
Right, worldwide donation system
for universal peace.
For universal peace.
And they keep referring to it as peace, no unity or whatever. They keep referring to it as peace.
Worldwide donation system.
For universal peace, yes.
It's powerful. Worldwide donation system for universal peace. Okay, I'm gonna drop that somewhere. I'm gonna drop
Great.
it. I'm gonna drop
I love talking to you, and thank you for listening.
Oh no, you're so welcome. It's lovely to hear it. And there's some real I love it. I'm going to sleep with that tonight.
Oh, great. Do so.
And I'm going to drop it into the chat with my new lads, both of whom I'll have you know are in happy relationships. They have no business, they have no interest in me in anything other than working.
Oh, wow. That's nice. That's very nice.
That's very nice.
Great.
I mean, I'm
great.
quite looking forward to finding a beautiful.
I couldn't put money in for your summit because I can't bank on my phone. So, but is there a possibility to do it later?
Yes, there is. It will still be available. It's yes, and then you'll be able to have all the talks and listen to all the talks. Yeah.
Yes. Because I can't now neither listen or pay for it.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. It'll still be there. Don't you worry. And if you have any difficulty, just get hold. I don't know how it'll be there, but my VA tells me it is there, so I'll check in with her about what you do.
Fantastic. Great. And love hearing from you when you have any ideas about that, or there is anything that you like my input on, then
well,
please.
I think it's important that, like I said, I think there's big work to be done, and none of us can do it on our own. So the more of us are pulling together and knowing that, we might not get paid tomorrow, but we'll get paid in a few months.
Yes.
And I do actually believe it's going to happen. I think this stuff is going to start to happen really quickly. There's been a big...
And at the same time, we need to take care that it's not going off too fast, because it has to settle. Every step has to settle before the next step is going to be made.
But settling is happening more quickly because we're more ready for it. I was listening to Zach Bush. Zach Bush the other day was just saying the speed that energy is hitting this planet at the moment, and we're processing it, and we, even like the way we stopped the world last year, a year ago tomorrow for the UK. Yes. That's a little bit old world as well, to think that we can't, that everything has to settle. Yes, I agree with you, it has to settle, but it needs to be given its space. But I think we also, if we're open to new and we
Yeah.
integrate properly.
You know what I find difficult to do is that there's a group of people with whom it is working that fast, but there is the majority of the people who are still sleeping. I had to go by train yesterday and we have to wear masks. I was the only one on the whole station and there were hundreds of people all wearing masks and all looking. It was so surreal. So you have to
I
work
know
with that as well.
when we're talking, and I'm talking to other people who are like you and me, I feel really okay, and it's like, oh, it's all right. And then I'm one. From a family of 8. Everybody's they're all totally COVID crazy. They can't wait to. Well, they've all had the,
That
and I'm
accent,
like,
yes.
not for, no, thank you, no, thank. But and I feel it when I get in front of them and in their field. I feel kind of, yeah, and I think we just got to play it out. We can't make them. I heard something really quite terrifying about it, that it may be, they may die from it, from
Yes,
having had
yes.
made that choice, and we're the ones who are. And I'm like, well, I'm not. I've had somebody I really respect say that to me. I'm not gonna fly in the face of that. So, um, yeah,
I
we
love
can't.
I love the way Tessa pronounced it in the thing about I think it was the third session of Future Human. She talked about the gym owner who wanted her to wear a mask,
Yeah.
and she said, "I do not resonate with the vaccine." And I thought that was such a beautiful way of putting it.
Mm.
Instead of saying, "I'm not taking it," she said, "I'm not resonating with it."
Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful way of putting it, isn't it?
And it is a really vibrational thing
Yeah.
for me. It's like everything in me. It's exactly that. Yeah, it's dissonance. It's not. It's like no.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
and
never thought of putting it like that.
yeah,
So that can be you can say that more easily to people
yeah,
without drawing their anger or you
yes,
know,
absolutely. Yeah,
I loved it.
my friend was saying that it's much more of a no thank you rather than a get that away. It's just
Yes.
it's a come at it with a softness, and then it's
Yeah,
hard to.
but even then, no, thank you. I think don't resonate with it
Yeah.
is even softer than that
Yeah,
to
no, it
me.
is. It is
Yeah,
definitely. Yes.
yeah. So that's what we have to think about when you work on the new world. We live with it for so many years already that it's normal to us, and for a lot of people, it's a threat.
I think there might be something in the word resonate. I often use the word resonate. Does this resonate for you? Does this resonate with you? And I love the way you've picked on that word, and I like to use more positive messaging rather than
Yeah,
that doesn't resonate for me. That to look at what does resonate and to turn our attention towards what does. And I feel like that's got to be what underpins the messaging of this thing is the of this thing. It's a bit of a mouthful, Spirit. I mean, for goodness sake, worldwide donation system
for
for
universal.
universal peace. There's something. I mean, when I say it, I get goosebumps inside. It's like I know that these are, but there's a way of saying that. The WWDSFUP, the WWDSFUP. Like the DUP. All those big letters they had in Ireland for all their various people.
Okay.
Because you've got the World Health Organization, WWD, WWDSFUP, WWD, the
UP.
WWD
You do,
system.
you do not need the F. You could leave the F out.
You could WWDSUP, WWD, WWDSUP, WWD. But I quite like the F, S-F-U-P, S. No, it would get confused. S-U-P, sup.
I've got no idea. I
What's
just
up?
know it's there and it's a powerful thing. I know it, I feel it, and
Yeah, no.
I I miss the experience to bring it alive. So thank you for thinking with me and
No problem. It's coming.
resonating with it.
It's definitely resonating. I'm going to go and put it by my bed so that I sleep with it tonight. It'll be the last thing I look at before I sleep, and
Oh, thank you.
I'll see what
Beautiful.
comes in.
You know, even you recognizing it for something that's worthwhile
Mm.
is very encouraging because there are so little people recognizing that.
Oh no. And we're going to have an interview. We'll definitely, because I actually do need to get some people booked in quite soon. So we'll have an interview soon. You get your computer back up and running. And I'll make we'll have a, so what I'm going to be doing is making a YouTube video, and then I'm going to be taking out the audio and putting that on a platform. I don't have hundreds of people yet, but I've got to start somewhere. So this feels
Yeah,
like a great.
and I have to look into whether I want to have it this big already if you do not have the donation thing starting, because I have to have um, two people in the board to be able to ask for a bank account.
Okay.
So that's, I can't even get a bank account. So you can't put anything up before you do that. So I'm talking to, if possible, talking to Cecile Masson. She was
Oh,
home.
I'm
Yes.
I'm speaking to her tomorrow as well.
Oh, are you? Great. I hope to meet up with her this week, and she is in the Netherlands, so maybe she knows. She can help me with people for, because there are people who said they wanted to be in it, but they're not. They're too much doing their thing instead of working for the donation system. You
Well,
know?
yeah. When Sarah was speaking, I mean, I already had an arrangement to meet Cecile before last week's call, but when
Okay.
Sarah said
Okay.
what she said, I just thought I just got goosebumps again, because I just thought I can feel this powerhouse of females in Europe who are ready to move all this stuff on. And it feels like you're part of that piece. Isabel Girardet as well, and me and Cecile.
Okay. What is Isabel doing?
Isabel is one of Sarah's peeps. She does super conscious. She's a super conscious coach, and she does this. She has this thing called XO, the extraordinary people, about extraordinary people. I mean,
Oh, wow.
she's an author, and she's got a TV station. She's actually, that whole TV thing might be really part of the piece. Yeah, I think maybe when we've all spoken individually, maybe we all four of us need to talk together as
Yeah,
like
that
a
would be.
starting point, because you know I'll tell you, I'll be really honest with you about what happened with me and John. Okay, John was in love with me and I wasn't really in love with him. That was the first thing.
Okay. I
But
always thought he was a homosexual. Sorry to say, but I
oh,
really,
well, that's good. I'm really pleased about that.
I always, he is the typical homosexual. I was married to one, so that's why I
Oh, okay.
thought so.
He's got a lot of feminine energy. He's got a really very
Yeah,
high level of feminine energy. But oh, well, that's great. Good. But basically, our idea was that we would spread what we were doing one connection at a time, but it never seemed to leave us. And that's useless. It's like,
yes,
you
but
talk to me now.
it might not even have been the time, because the time is starting now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, but now, if we have the four, if we have you, me, Cecile, and Isabel, for argument's sake, and we're kind of the core, that female core, and then we all speak to somebody, and then each of those people speaks to somebody else. And I mean, the speed that when you do that, it multiplies into the thousands within,
Yes, yes.
it's,
And you
it's
need
like
it to
eight.
be like that because you can connect personally, and it's transferring a lot more than just the words that you pick up somewhere on the internet or via or whatever.
Exactly, exactly. And that said, and I think part of what stops us, we realized how quick it could happen if you follow that model. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, and on it goes. We also then felt, whoa, energetically, you've really got to be ready for that level of
Yes,
influx.
yes.
So you've
So
got to
you
be able
have
to
to have
hold.
the structure ready. You have
Exactly,
to have a strong structure
you
to
do.
be able to carry that. Otherwise, and if it fails, then you can't start over again. Not with the same, and
No.
anyway, not with the donation system. You can't start over again. So you have to do this right.
Yeah. And I think that's why if you have 4 really strong people at the core, and maybe it's 8, maybe each of us needs to bring in another person who we absolutely trust to hold that. And I was looking at my wealth dynamics today. Um, we've got our superpowers. Well, wealth dynamics, where have I put it? I think I've left it in the kitchen. I'm a star. Sarah uses it in her business.
Okay.
Um, Sarah's a star as well, which might be why she always works with partners.
I don't know the star as a
A
superpower.
star, Oprah Winfrey is the most famous star on the planet, probably.
Okay.
Paul Newman was as well, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So we like the limelight, but it's not so much about my product. Like what I'm really good at is going, this is an amazing product. Get this, where it's not so much about what I generate. And there's also the life design going on as well. So stars tend to have I have subcategories which are creator and supporter, and they sit either side. I'll go and get it, one sec, so you can see it's not going to be very easy to see on your phone, but and I've got hidden myself
Okay.
view, so I shall reveal myself so I can
That's
see. Okay, so
beautiful.
we're all so it works around the I Ching as well. So I'm like a spring and summer. So I'm up here. I've got this dynamo thing and I've got blaze, and that comes from spring and summer. And that's what fuels me, where you have the more autumnal, the tempo, these people down here who are the deal maker, trader, and accumulator. They're much more autumnal. They're in the kind of, when it's got steady. So I'm brilliant. Where you'll find me really good is in this startup phase. I'm I'm your woman for startup, but I suspect you might find somebody like Cecile. I think she might have more of a kind of mechanic, that sort of solid. She'll be there in the autumn and the winter. I'll be off. I'll be doing something else. So you kind of pick your leaders for the cycles of your business. So in the startup phase, you want the bright, the creators and the stars and the supporters, because they're the ones that get it going. But then we get bored. I get bored easily, and I go rushing off. What's next? What's next? Which is great.
Okay.
So I have to have creativity. I have to have expansion. Where there are other people who can't do that at all. They just want to be. They just want to make the processes really work and everything in order. So it's quite, unfortunately, it's quite expensive. It's like $97, but you can often get buy one, get one free. And
Okay.
somebody's giving me a code to get a half price thing, because I want my VA to do it. And I just
Okay.
think it's useful if you have a team of 8 people. So there are 8 different types. Um, And if you have all 8 of those, then you've kind of got a full team, you know, your team is taken care of. That's if you have each of those in leadership positions. And what are they? I took a picture of it earlier. I do think and it's that's sort of how we make wealth. It's all to do with the flow. So he says, imagine it's like an 8-sided mountain, and then the river can drop. The river comes down. Yeah, yeah. That's a little because spirit is the last. So you've got these frequencies which are dynamo, blaze, tempo, steel, and spirit. And they're associated with spring, summer, autumn, winter, and transition. And the elements: wood for dynamo, fire for blaze and summer, earth for tempo, and metal for steel. But it's interesting anyway.
Oh, great. And that's something else than the first superpower we did, because yeah. I have because I only have that one.
Okay, well, I've had I know what my second one is, because we have our overriding one. We're both sages, yeah.
Yes.
And then you can get a second every 15 years. A new one comes in. So I'm.
Yes, I saw it, but I don't have my bank account. I can't buy it.
Oh. Ask Catalina. She might just do it for you, just because she's nice. Because I do it because I'm on the leading edge. We get it on the leading edge. We got it for free on the leading edge. But I have Vision Manifester, and I'm halfway through. Yeah, I'm about halfway into into a 15-year cycle. So I should be. I'm in a really powerful. I guess I'm guessing it's like a wave, and so I must be at the peak of it. So you've got me at a good time. I've got creative energy, and
great.
And I'm a vision manifester. So between us, we're gonna do this thing. All right, love. I'm gonna go for my walk because I haven't been
do so. Otherwise, it's too cold. Thank you so much, and love hearing from you when you feel like it. And otherwise, I just pop in with you.
Yeah, we'll organise. When you've got your computer back, let me know, and then we can get in a time to do like a podcast.
It's probably next week. Say hello to Cecile from me.
I will do that.
Have a great conversation.
I'm sure I will. All right, love. Speak to you soon. I'll send this to you. It might not come tonight because I'm going out for a walk.
No,
but it might.
It's no problem, but it's just that it's recorded, and my head spins with English and things that come through, and then when I listen it, there are completely different things, because I listened back to the pitch. I thought I just blew it. I
not at all. You did brilliantly.
and then so I said to everybody, and it took a few days before I could watch it, and then I saw my mind made completely different things from it than really happened.
Yes, absolutely. So, well, you don't want me to send this to you now anyway, do you? Because you can't download it onto your phone.
If you can send it me by email, then I can, but the rest I can't.
Well, if I send it to you by email, because I like to keep my cloud, so it's on the cloud, and I've only got a certain amount of storage, so I will clear it, and then it will be gone if you can't download it. But have you got somewhere you can download it to?
No, but if it's in my email, oh well, that's not very helpful, is it?
It won't be there, because you'll just get a link and it'll tell you that the link's expired.
So I'm sorry, you probably have to see who. Oh, it's my daughter. I call her back in a moment.
Okay, unless I do it by WeTransfer later.
Oh yes, you can do that, and then you can lift.
They don't last. They only last about a week, I think.
Can I could you put in the email address of my daughter, so that I can send you her email address, and she can download it from me.
If that works, and then I don't have to keep thinking about it, because
no, I can imagine that's not that
would be perfect. That would be absolutely perfect.
Fantastic.
Let's
do so. Thank you so much again,
Oh,
lady.
no, it was lovely to speak to you. This is exciting. I'm
Isn't it?
excited.
Have a great
Okay.
week and
You too.
hope hearing from you. Bye.
Bye.